two big records happening this past week. Caitlin Clark breaks the all-time scoring record in the NCAA, passing Pistol Pete. I can talk. And then LeBron gets to 40K, which is the first player in NBA history to do so. Scott, which of those two was more impressive to you, Caitlin Clark's or LeBron's record?
It's the first time I'm hearing about LeBron's record, so I'm going to go with Caitlin Clark. I didn't even know that man hit 40,000.
You seriously didn't know that?
Honest to God, I did not, but I've heard about Caitlin Clark all week. And I mean, good for her. She deserves it. But yeah, I mean, congrats to LeBron, I guess. He's played a long time. Volume scorer. I mean, good for him.
Volume scorer. The stat that I heard that was craziest was the length of time between like his first point and his 10,000th point was almost the exact same amount of time between his 30K and 40K. Like he's keeping up with the same offensive output at this age, which is crazy because he's like 2 months younger than me. So it's wild to me that this dude is still able to do what he does on the offensive side of the ball. It's absolutely bananas.
It is wild, but you want to know what's even more wild? I feel like and I'm not even joking, I heard more about Bronny in the last week than I did about his father because of all the, he's not going to play, he's not going to declare for the draft and where's he going to get picked, and ESPN removed him from the projections and all that shit. So I heard more about him than I did his father. So I guess good job, LeBron.
Matt, what's more impressive to you, Caitlin Clark or LeBron?
I'm going to go in a couple different ways here. I want to start off by saying what Caitlin Clark did is absolutely incredible, and I do not want to discount that in any way. She's been
going to discount it.
Here comes the discount.
Right. Discount the record she broke from Pistol Pete Maravich. And I'm more talking about the amazingness that was Pistol Pete Maravich than trying to deride anything that Caitlin Clark has done. Pistol Pete Maravich set that record in 3 years because he wasn't allowed to start as a freshman in college. When he went to college in the 50s, he was not allowed to start as a freshman. And he also did with no 3-point line. He averaged 44 points a game for 3 years in college basketball. Pistol Pete Maravich is one of the most slept on basketball players ever. I don't think he ever gets brought up in any kind of conversations. I think he was that. Okay, Scott.
White people do not fail to remind you that Pistol Pete was really good at basketball. And that I agree. Like that's very impressive. But trust me, I've heard plenty about how good Pistol Pete is. Whenever the GOAT conversation comes up, somebody wants to, well, you know what, I bet Pistol Pete. Like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, look, I'm not putting him in the GOAT conversation. I don't have him in my top 10, even though I don't have Kobe in my top 10 either. So you guys can go ahead and take that what you will. What LeBron did, 40,000 points, and being able to do it for, like Mike said, until he's Mike's age is incredible. I'm just blown away with what LeBron has been able to do. Jordan's the GOAT, will always be the GOAT. There's no discussion. There's no you have no argument that is going to sway me off that Jordan is the GOAT. But LeBron's impressive. That's really impressive. And to see him keep it up and keep doing it, even in this advanced stage of his career, it's impressive. It's impressive because Caitlin Clark did it in 4 years. If Caitlin Clark comes in and does the exact same thing in the WNBA, I will think that is just as equally as impressive.
One of those years,
LeBron did it for 20 years.
Like one of those years that Caitlin Clark had was a COVID year, so it's a shortened season. It's all kinds of weirdness. So I'm gonna say, let's call it 3.5 seasons that she did.
Okay, 3.5 seasons, still very impressive, and her range is unlimited. She's like somebody else we're going to talk about later in the show. Her range is unlimited, and she can really. It's very impressive, and I don't want to take that away from her in any way. And I think there's a lot of people that do try and do that.
I walked out.
Audio only on.
Got him.
Jared, as Matt was explaining that, Jared said Matt looks like the guy who's trying to mansplain why Caitlin Clark's record has an asterisk.
But no, and I don't want anybody to think I'm downplaying either. Like I actually think LeBron is it's very impressive. I actually just think it's kind of weird how I haven't really heard that much about it. You would think 40K would have pinged my radar a whole hell of a lot more, but no.
I don't know how it didn't. Like, I don't know what hole you're living in that never.
Hey, look, I can tell you about what Paul Skeens has done the past week, but I missed the LeBron news.
I
My bad.
I can't believe they didn't break into your MLB radio broadcast to tell you that LeBron hit 40K. Like, no wonder why you didn't. That it all makes sense now. That's why you don't know, because they're not talking about that on Brave spring training games.
When the Pony Express brings the telegram in a couple of days, I'm like, oh, LeBron got 40K. All right.
Quattro Z said, we may never see 40K points again. Tatum, maybe. No chance Luka's body lasts till 40, eating nugs and slamming brews. That is 100% right. Like, I feel like that's what's most impressive about LeBron hitting 40K. It's like I said, he's two months younger than me. Like, the fact that his offensive output at this age is still what it is. And you also have to consider the game has changed so much since LeBron entered the league when he was 18. Like, it's a totally different game right now from when he first started. So the fact that he's able to adapt, his game's able to grow and change, and he's still at the level that he's at is bananas. But Caitlin Clark's record is fantastic. Like, that's amazing. That's amazing that she was able to do that. I will say we should probably put some respect on the NAIA women's record holder, Grace Beyer, because she actually.
I mean, that's no disrespect, but that's not a name I've ever heard. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's got 3,961 points as the NAIA record holder. So, listen, it's still amazing what Caitlin Clark did. I also love that, like now people are like, she should go back to college because she's going to make more money in college than she will in the W. And I don't know how people don't realize that NIL is just endorsements. Like, those aren't going away because she's going to Indianapolis. You mean to tell
me that there aren't rich Iowa boosters giving hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars to girls to go play basketball at Iowa? They're not doing that. That's not what they're spending it on the football team. What? I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what to do with this.
All right, Robert, I'm sorry. I have to address this, Matt, because Robert's in the comments saying, I am honestly shocked but not shocked that there's a discussion about whether or not both feats are impressive. I think we all agree both feats are impressive.
They really
we just want to know which one is more impressive. Like, that was just a jumping off point for us. Which one impressed you more, 40K or Caitlin Clark breaking the record? Like, we're not downplaying either one of them. They're both amazing.
The show's going to be pretty short and boring if we're just like, all right, they're both impressive. Next topic.
One more thing I wanted to put about LeBron and his longevity in the NBA. When he got drafted, I was still very much in high school.
You young bitch.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I'm now approaching where we have the overzealous people already prepping for our 20-year high school reunion.
We didn't even
so one. He's been in for a very long fucking time, and to be playing at that high level and with no injuries, which there's been injuries here and there, but he's never had a catastrophic injury in his career. And that's something that, as we've seen with a lot of NBA players now, that's really impressive. I mean, Derrick Rose lost his career to injuries. Brandon Roy lost his career to injuries. LeBron has managed to stay healthy the whole way through. It's just, Jordan's a GOAT. 40K is the most impressive thing that happened in basketball this year.
Guys, is it bad that, like, whenever somebody brings up the fact that LeBron hasn't had a major injury in this lengthy career of 20 plus years, that he hasn't missed significant time because of injury, and all I can think to myself is, dude must be on something. Like, there's no way.
That was the first thing I thought while Matt was talking about that. I was like, how many PRP injections has he had?
Like, he's on some Malco shit for real. Like, there's no way you can go 20 some years and not have an extended absence. That's insane to me. That's insane.
Put them all on steroids. Get rid of these steroids rules. Just bring steroids back. Let's see how far the human body can go. It's these people's lives. If that's what they want to do to themselves, they're adults. Let them make choices. I want 80 home runs in a baseball season. I want to see 81 home runs. I want to see someone average 1 home run for every other game.
As long as they play for the Braves, I'm here for it. Let's go.
Just bring steroids back. Let the guys do it. And everybody bitches about the hitters were juicing. So were the pitchers. So everybody was.
I don't think we should have everybody on steroids. You can't go out there and be like, go ahead, do whatever you want. But I do think you can designate one player. There's one steroid freak on every team in every sport, and it's just a guy chained up in the locker room, and then eventually they release the shackles, and he comes out like the Incredible Hulk and just fucking mashes people. That's what we need. Is one.
Okay, Mike. So who is that guy? Who is that guy on the Reds? Who is that guy on the Reds for you? Scott, who is it on the Braves? I'll think about for the Mets. But let's go to Mike first.
I'll start on baseball already.
Yeah, I can start because it's obviously going to be Pete Alonso. Steroid that motherfucker up, chain him in. He's already taken BP underneath with shirtless. Like, he's already insane. Let's let him get actually ripped and not this chubby ginger like me and Mike are. Like, just let him go nuts.
You and Mark.
Let him go nuts.
Who's this Mark guy?
My brother. He's also kind of a chubby ginger, so it works.
Scott, do you have an answer of who you would want to see as the roid guy?
Yeah, but I'm going the opposite way. I want to see Spencer Strider throw 110. Like, if we're going and another 27 up, 27 down strikeout game for Spencer Strider as he was unhittable, pumping in and averaging fastball at 109.5.
I'm going to throw out a name. I'm trying to find the picture just so that people who aren't familiar with the Reds can see who I'm talking about. But Stuart Fairchild is my pick from the Reds because he looks like he's 12, and I just want him to get to the point where he looks like an adult male playing baseball again. Like, he looks like he's everybody's little brother out there. So I want him on steroids.
That actually would be kind of funny if some teams just got screwed and it was like a deep bench guy, and he just like he goes from being a deep bench guy to being a utility guy. It's like, actually, that's a guy on Reds. Like, he plays everywhere on the diamond. He's pretty solid. He's nothing special. He's got like 20 home runs. Like,
you know what?
But he plays every day.
That's an idea, Scott. They should do a lottery with your 40-man roster on day one,
on who gets
and just spin it, and like, who gets it? Oh,
damn it!
Brandon Nimmo. Okay, Brandon Nimmo gets it. All right, here we go.
Chris is nominating Christian Encarnacion Strand for the Reds to be the designated steroid.
60 bombs incoming.
There's some good ones in the comments that people are saying. Also, Quattro giving you an A+ steroids take by Barr. So there you go, Matt Barr.
I like Tyson's choice here. Ellie De La Soul. That's pretty solid. That'll work. Also, he should totally switch his walk-up song to that.
That he should. He really should. Tyson saying LeBron once fell down because somebody blew in his face. First of all, no, he didn't. He was disgusted by his breath. And Tyson, you should know that was Lance Stevenson. As a Cincinnati fan, you should know that that's who that was that blew in LeBron's ear and grossed him out on the court. Just unreal. Robert Taylor had to pull it in. Every high-level athlete is on something. Even Patrick Mahomes is probably on EPO. So I'm not talking about like something under the radar. I'm talking about the fact that LeBron has gone 20+ years without any significant missed time. That is not just like
actually just crazy.
Normal. Yeah, it's not normal like athlete stuff that's being taken there. There's some magic that's happening. There's no way. Sorry,
even Tom Brady with his TB12 missed a year because Bernard Pollard murdered his knee, which, American hero. But, even he missed a whole season. Other than that, he was out. But I don't think LeBron has LB23.
Besides load management, I really can't remember a time where he missed extended time, and that's coming on top of all the Olympic games he's played and all that other shit. Like, it's the more you think about it, the more impressive it becomes, but also more unbelievable that he's not on something. Like, there's no rational explanation. My brain isn't wrapping around, so it just comes to the conclusion that there's something unnatural happening.